What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Mike Miz, and welcome to MLB Opening Day preview show. Going to break down the slate for you guys. I'm joined by my buddy Pete. What's up, Pete?
What's up, guys? Oh, hold on. I gotta get you off mute here. I can hear you talking. I'm doing well. It's a holiday tomorrow, man. It's the first day of baseball season for me, so it's the best day of the year. I like March. It's like a March Madness, like the Super Bowl, but there's nothing like opening day of baseball, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. It's like the start of spring, and
New
looking forward to
beginnings.
the summer. Yep, definitely. And then I'm joined by my buddy Wes too. What's up, Wes?
What's going on, fellas? I'm ready for this holiday myself. Get out of the winter into the spring and summer.
Yep, get that warm weather back. So the show is on YouTube for the first time this MLB season. Do the old, like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video today. It really helps us out. And then what we're going to do today is just break down the main slate for opening day. Not a lot's going to change between now and this live stream and first pitch, but so it should give you a good basis and a good grasp on the slate here today. So, guys, we got Minnesota and Milwaukee. Pete, what are you seeing here today?
All right, we're gonna go position by position here.
Oh, that's right. Yes, my bad.
Sorry, no, that's all right. But first I want to bring up the forecast quick because I think it actually is kind of important for tomorrow. And I realized the last couple of years that I'm seeing a lot of people that are new to DFS are not paying attention to the forecast, and especially a day like day. We're gonna get day that grind it out. They're just gonna go ahead and see popular teams play.
Yeah.
So I was looking, and I was actually looking through the forecast, and it's not because originally there was a lot of question marks like the Atlanta Philadelphia game and all that. But it looks like everything is kind of like good to go. There's not going to be any rain issues. Maybe the beginning of Baltimore, Boston, Atlanta, Philly.
Yeah,
but
right.
The Cubs and Pittsburgh game, we got heavy winds blowing in, 30, 40-degree weather. That's going to be a really cold game. Yep. St. Louis, Cincy is going to be a cold. You guys are northern guys, so you guys know more than me. But they're going to be cold games, and I think a lot of people are going to be gearing toward, guys playing in the domes, which is going to be the Tampa game, playing in Miami, and then the Milwaukee, Minnesota game. And a lot of people think since they're playing indoors, let's go with those pitchers. But another way to go is they're playing indoors too. The bats are going to go off, and I'd rather be using some pitchers in this cold weather because you're not going to be seeing a lot of home runs in 30-degree weather. So it's just important to look at the weather tomorrow. There's a couple of windy, cold games to look at. There's no rain issues. Everything should play. But just another kind of tip for any of these new guys to look at. So,
yeah, that's a very good point. If there's we're not into the full, heat of the summer where you got to worry about every degree of humidity and things like that. But it's definitely going to be very important here with this rough and tough, rugged weather here.
It's still winter in where you guys are in the northeastern part of the United States.
Right, and it's been raining here all day. It's been pouring, like completely pouring. So hopefully that clears up over here. But all right, pitching.
All right, so
we'll start with you, Pete.
Yeah, we'll start with Cash. Wes is going to hit GBP. So the way I'm looking at tomorrow for Cash is I think there's two ways you can go. You can go the Yu Darvish value pitcher way, and that's how I was originally thinking I was going to go. Like, we all know Yu's a stud. He's a big time pitcher, but he's also expensive. He's not cheap. I get the picture. I know he's over 10K. He's 10-4. I do have some question marks on you though. His last spring start, I was actually talking to a friend of mine up in New York not too long ago about this. He gave up 7 stolen bases in that last start. So that's a sign. I'm not saying that Yu's washed up and not to use him, but that's obviously a sign that something was wrong. If you watch, I watched him that game. His body language was horrible, and there was something obviously bothering him. He was taking ages between pitches. So it's just something to look at, especially the first game of the year. Because any of these guys see signs of any kind of issues, they're going to pull him. He's not going to be pitching 8-9 innings. So I just have problems paying 10-4 for a guy. Once again, great pitcher. He's probably the one pitcher on the slate who could get you 30 DK points, possibly him and Nola in a GPP version. But I'm probably leaning off him. But I think you can go that route. You can go and you can go a cheaper pitcher And the two cheap pitchers I'm on is I like Nathan Eovaldi for the Red Sox. I'm real big on Eovaldi this year. I've always been an Eovaldi fan, but I think he's you look at that Orioles lineup, especially the bottom of the lineup. The bottom of the lineup is horrible. Eovaldi
Yeah.
should get a
Yep.
win out of
Pretty
it.
bad. Pretty bad.
And you're the Oriole guy, so I think you would know. But it is. I mean, the bottom of the order from Ruiz, Hayes, Galvis, and Cisco. I mean, especially facing a righty like Eovaldi, that's a bad part. That's a bad. I mean, the top 3 or 4 ain't bad, but Eovaldi should have a decent game. Also, Wes disagrees on me on this, but I'm huge on Kyle Hendricks tomorrow, and mainly because he's playing in a game against Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh totally sucks. It's a trash lineup. First of all, remember last year, Hendricks had the game of his life on opening day. He had a complete game shutout, which is very rare. You don't even see that nowadays, especially on opening day. He struck out 9, broke the slate. Spring training, but he's been so in spring training. He's got a 15 to 2 K to walk ratio, but he did get hit up. But the main reason I'm looking at Hendricks tomorrow is because it's gonna be 30 degrees, winds blowing in court and Wrigley. So I don't want to be using any bats, especially on either side. Me personally, in cash games, he can strike out he can strike out lefties because he's got that elite control, which can let him go deeper in the game more than other pitchers because of his control. He's got that changeup, which allows him to strike out left-handers. He's not very good against right-handers. But remember, Pittsburgh is mostly left-handers. And beside the couple guys top of the lineup, like Frazier and Key Bryan, that's just a trash lineup. And there's also no DH. So I'm big on Hendricks. I definitely see a win here. So if I go the start scrubs route, I'm looking at you and Hendricks or Eovaldi, or probably the way I'm going to end up going is the two mid 8K guys versus Tyler Glasnow, who's probably going to be the highest owned, honestly. I imagine he's going to be chalk tomorrow. Glasnow was just, last year over 30% K rate against righties and lefties. He's probably at the highest ceiling and floor of the slate. The problem with Glasnow is we know Tampa, and Tampa does, they stretch their guys out. They don't let him go too deep in the order. But we also saw Glasnow last July. He'll pitch 3 innings and he'll end up with 30 DK points. So because of strikeout ability. So I see Glasnow as being one of the top chalk cash players, and my SP2 would end up being either a Woodruff or a Maeda, who's both pitching in that Milwaukee-Minnesota game. Probably leaning Woodruff, who's probably going to be higher owned. Woodruff also has great K rates. Who I think is in a better spot. He's also, I think he had 29% K rate in 2019, went up to 31% K rate in 2020. His walk rate is only 6%. The Twins have power, but they also don't have a DH, so I'm assuming Cruz is going to be sitting, which gives Woodruff probably the upside in that game. We could also go Maeda. So right now I'm looking for, probably going to go Glasnow and Woodruff, unless I go Stars and Scrubs, you and Kyle Hendricks.
I don't disagree with really any of that. Those are all very good points. Wes, what do you have in terms of GPPs?
All right. Well, Castillo is actually higher owned than I thought he was going to be. I like Luis Castillo versus the Cardinals. They've got a 232 team batting average in the past 3 years against him. He's got 38 Ks and just a little over 100 at bats versus the Cardinals. He's one of the guys I like. And then Alcantara versus the Rays. They had 10 strikeouts and 35 plate appearances and a couple starts, I believe it was. And they only have batting 214 versus him. Also, the Rays were not very good this spring training and have been slow starters.
Agreed.
So Alcantara and Luis Castillo are two of my favorite GPP plays.
Yeah, those are definitely two good ones.
I agree. I agree with the Castillo play because Castillo owns right-handers, and I'm looking at that possible lineup for the Cards tomorrow. It's all right-handers too, so I agree with the Castillo play. I'm also big on Noah tomorrow too for GPPs. That not cash, I think Noah could be high owned just because it's cold in Philly. The only two lefties probably I think in the lineup are going to be Albies and Freeman, and I think he's going to be really low owned. So, and all those Braves are over 20% K rates, strike out at 20% more at the time. So I'm also on Noah too, but I'd like the Castillo call for GPP.
One thing I'm going to say is that, I might be a homer, but I think John Means has a fighter's chance here against the Red Sox. The Red Sox are terrible now. They've traded away a lot of their talent. They still have JD, Bogarts, and Devers, but that's it. And they're always, somewhat slow starters. John Means had, some good good starts there towards the end of the season last year. At 6.3, I think if you're looking to, go with, maybe a more high powered stack and on your offensive side, that you could use John Means.
I can't believe you said that, John Means. All right, but but
Totally.
one thing about Means,
he can be good.
He can be
strike
good.
out lefties. He can strike out lefties. He can't strike out righties, and I like these guys like JD and Renfroe though today going against the left-hander. But
for sure.
GVP though, you want to get somebody low owned and somebody that you don't think that's gonna outshine the field. So hey, all for it.
Yep. And we'll get into hitters and stacks and so forth, but he could open up some good things for you. All right, moving on to catcher, first base. Doing this show, and like doing baseball, it just reminds me of doing KBO in the morning, and it's crazy. Just going position by position and so forth. It's great. All right, but what do we got? It's catcher and first base.
All right, so cash. I guess if you're gonna pay up, I don't pay up a catcher. But if I had the money, perfect world, I probably would go JT Realmuto. He owned actually his BBP against Max Fried is 7 for 18 with 2 homers. He destroys them. The problem is I don't think the ball's gonna be flying there because of the weather. But Realmuto probably has the most pop in that lineup for cash. If not, Sal Perez going against Kurt Gibson, a righty. They would probably be my 2 pay ups. But I'm gonna want to be paying up somewhere else tomorrow. So I'm probably leaning tomorrow at catcher. I'm probably going to end up going with a guy like Caratini, who came with Darvish from the Cubs, who's become like Darvish's personal catcher. And Caratini will be starting tomorrow, batting, I'm assuming 8th, probably in front of Profar. And he's got 390 WOBA against lefties. He's a switch hitter, a mad bum. I can't believe it was actually his opening day starter for Arizona. I don't know if they're doing that just because of he's a veteran and they owe it to him.
Right, that's crazy.
I mean, Bumgarner's not even a double-A pitcher anymore. But I would probably end up going Caratini at that. I just like that price. His price is 2.6. I go Caratini. If I don't go Nathan Eovaldi, I could also see myself running something like the kid from the Orioles, Cisco, something like that.
Yeah.
That's probably I'm probably going to lean Caratini in cash. If not, I'd go up to Sal Perez or JT Realmuto.
Yep. Okay. All right, Wes. What do you got for Jeep in terms of going off the grid here tournaments?
Yeah, to go off grid. Pete took my guy. Probably.
Yeah, there isn't too many catchers. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
I would use Caratini no matter what. Will Smith is the pay-up guy. In Colorado, but I would use Caratini in GPPs and probably Ryan Jeffers versus Woodruff. Jeffers did have a pretty good spring training.
Tucker Barnhart is another one.
Tucker Barnhart.
Yeah, it all depends on who you're stacking. Like if you're gonna go out, if you want to stack Pittsburgh against Hendricks. Who's Pittsburgh is probably starting Stallings tomorrow. I'm assuming
Stallings, I believe.
Yeah, so a guy like Stallings, unless you're going to be talking GBP, you probably got to roll with whoever you're going to stack. And Stallings is at the bottom of the order, but I mean, he doesn't hit righties well. But hey, I mean, he's got pop. So somebody like Stallings. Another thing I was mentioned too. When I'm the stats I'm bringing out, I've actually been looking at stats from 2019 and 2020. I just feel like last year a lot of guys had bad seasons. There was no spring training. I'm kind of taking that as a little bit of a different outlier. So I've been combining the stats in 2019 and 2020. So that's some of the numbers I'm giving you guys.
Yeah, that's a good call. Just looking at it, on a aerial view of the slate here, I could see Cisco being pretty popular just because of his price, lefty righty matchup. I could see that being because once you go past him, it seems like it's like a super big cliff for the most part. So I could see him being pretty popular tomorrow.
He's got a decent walk, 14% walk percentage last year. So get on base. That could be a little wraparound stack also, like a Cisco, Mullins, Mancini. So we get to first base. I think Mancini's going to be popular at first base. And some people, I'm on somebody else, but I got a feeling Mancini may be popular. He sat out the whole season last year, right? He might as well go to first base.
Yeah, didn't he have cancers?
Yeah, he did. Yep.
But now in 2019, now against righties, he's a righty, 235 ISO, 376 WOBA, under 20% K rate. So Mancini's going to be popular, especially batting second. And even though I do
under
like
4K,
I can see Eovaldi getting shelled though too. So we're not talking about Max Scherzer here. So Mancini's going to be popular in cash. My guy, who I'm on big time right now, is Carlos Santana. Santana is now in Kansas City, and he's batting middle of that order. I believe he's got a BVP too.
Hang on, I heard.
I mean, last season was a disaster, but in 2019, I mean, he had 237 ISO, 372 WOBA against righties. He had 34 homers, 93 ribbies. Gibson, I mean, is not a good pitcher. He's a righty. So Santana's batting cleanup. He's probably my top first baseman other day. Especially, I was looking at Rizzo at first until I saw the wind blowing back in. So if you don't want to go Santana, Hunter Dozier is only 4-1. Dozier, but he's batting seven. We have him projected at batting seventh. So I guess Dozier's in play, and also I think CJ Crone. Well, that's probably more of a play for Wes, as I think CJ Crone's going to be not popular, but I think he's going to be a good play.
Yeah, he'll be a good play. He's going to be lower owned, under 10%, I believe, playing in Colorado. We'll just see. He'll have to see how he does against Kershaw. Your Santana, his BVP versus Gibson is terrible. He is 1 for 12 with 2 strikeouts and 5 walks.
Okay, so I did read that wrong. Maybe I had BVP mean bad BVP against him. But
I looked at it. I was like, damn, he's 12 out of 17. But no, he's 1 for 12 with 5 walks.
I'm still all over. I don't think Gibson's a good pitcher. I love the price at 3.6. I like Nate Lowe also for Texas.
That's what I was going to say.
Right?
Yep. Good play. Good. Last year, he actually was. I can't believe the Rays actually got rid of him.
He had a bad spring too this year. They're talking about sending him down though, but he's a really good hitter. He's a natural born hitter. He's gonna have a good career here as long as he gets off to a good start here. Yeah,
Keller's a ground ball guy, but I mean, look, it's first game of the year. I mean, anything can happen. He's still really good against righties. So yeah, definitely like Nate Lowe as well tomorrow.
That's what brings us to when we were just talking about Crone. You got a lot of people going to be off Crone because Kershaw's pitching. Kershaw's not throwing 9 innings tomorrow. We're going to see 6.
Everybody's good. Yeah. That's that match we're going to see tomorrow, probably. Unless somebody's throwing a really good game, the entire game, we're not going to see these guys going deep. It's the beginning.
I mean, a guy like C.J. Cron with his kind of power at 3.8 in cores against the lefty, hell yeah, and I'll take him against Kershaw too. I may end up with him in my main lineup. I said I like Santana, but only $200 more. Cron may actually be the play. So yeah, and his ownership is. Who are you seeing? I'm seeing his low ownership at the moment. Looks like me and Mancini and Santana and Yoshi for the Rays are our three popular first basemen, I guess, right now for cash.
Yeah.
So right now it's for me, it's Santana. Santana all the way for cash.
All right. I can agree with that. I'll probably get sucked into playing Mancini because I'm a sucker. But let's go to second base. Second base is one of the strangest positions in MLB, in my opinion. The talent level is just kind of like all over the place here. But we have Ozzy Albies, popular young Braves guys. You know, he's leading the way at 5K opening day. That seems a bit aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. Because if I'm paying enough, I'm going to go Brandon Lowe at 4.6. I mean,
Yep.
Lowe is just.
I love
Lowe's
Brandon
a stud.
Lowe. Yep.
And I'll play him every day, especially against righties. 357 WOBA and 220. I don't think you got to pay up though. 4.6 when you got either Gavin Lux at 3.8 in cores. He's probably gonna be down the order 8th, but definitely in play. Or Kiki leading off. He's only 3K against Means for Boston. We know that Kiki is a perfect split sitter. So, and I think Kiki's probably going to be the most popular play. I'm seeing 25% Kiki, 22% Low. So I guess around there. So either Kiki or Lux as your cashy plays. Probably, I don't know, man. That's a tough call. I like both of them, but I probably lean Kiki, I guess, right now in cash. I just don't think there's all these other studs playing. I don't think we want to spend 4.6 for Brandon Lowe tomorrow in cash.
No. What about Cronenworth? What about Cronenworth for San Diego?
Yeah. Well, he's facing Bumgarner. He's a lefty against a lefty. I mean, it's a GPP play. Yeah.
Just because, yeah, I mean that's totally right. Like he kind of struggles
last year,
but he's got more talent around him than these other guys. So maybe he gets some better pitches to hit. I don't know.
But he's got Caratini behind him, but he's got right in front of him is Myers. So it's one of my top plays. Here's a play for FanDuel. The other thing, FanDuel went to multi-position this year.
Good for them.
That's something different. It's a pain in the ass written like the top plays article now, because these guys are all over the place. But one of Wes's Cubs here, Ian Happ, is listed at second on FanDuel. I think he's fairly cheap on FanDuel. 318 ISO against righties 2019. So 306 ISO in 2020. I think he's a decent play on a FanDuel. I think you said before, Adam Frazier gets 10 for 22 off Hendricks, or 2 homers at BVP. So Frazier's a sneaky play with GDP too.
Pete, you keep stealing all my guys. I got Adam Frazier circled in big letters. Shit on my paper. Frazier's got 4 extra base hits out of the 10 he's got. He's batting over 500 against him with 2 walks. I mean, Adam Frazier just kills Kyle Hendricks. And Mike Moustakas for the Reds against Jack Flaherty. I think the Reds versus Flaherty is going to – I mean, he is not very good versus the Reds. I mean, they've got a 268 average versus him. So Mike Moustakas would be a second baseman that I like.
That's a good call. Moose he's kind of been forgotten after he had to leave Milwaukee there. So that's a good call. I like that. I mentioned my guy, but that's about it. We can just keep rolling. right into third base. Third base, a lot of power. Third base here today.
Third base, Cash. Probably. I'm leaning Machado. Is that going to be the popular play at third? Probably the popular cash play is going to be Turner.
Yeah, 4-7. Yeah.
I think you want to. The smart plays are probably stack Seager and Turner. That would make the most sense hitting 2 and 3 of Dodgers lineup. Turner's been slightly better against righties in his career, and that's what Marquez is. He's tough. He's very tough to strike out. Righties have problem strike him out. He strikes out 8% of his career against righties. He's also got 364 WOBA against righties. So Turner is probably the smart cash play. I'm huge on Machado though.
Yeah.
I just think that I love Machado. I love this whole game tomorrow for the Padres. I may be different and go Machado with Tatis, or maybe split up like instead of Seager Turner, go like a Machado Seager, or split up the two guys, something like that. Madison Bumgarner is a terrible pitcher. He can't handle Machado. He can't handle Tatis. I'd probably feel more confident with Marquez and Coors than Mad Bum going against the Padres. So you can't go wrong with either of those two guys, but I think you want one of those two guys in your cash lineup.
I couldn't agree more with that. Wes, what do you have in terms of GPPs?
As far as GPPs, I like Suarez. I mean, he's 4 for 13 with a couple walks and a couple home runs versus Flaherty. I like him, and probably where'd it go?
Well, I can tell you who I like.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It was Alec Baum versus Freed.
Oh yeah.
He did pretty good off of him last year, what I can remember.
One of the top prospects in baseball right now, Alec Baum. Really, just was really solid to even end the year too. He's going to be a rising star there in Philly. I really like him. That's a really good call.
Yeah, I have actually projected as my highest third baseman. I mean, he led all rookies last year, average RBI and homers.
Yeah,
he hits lefties
he's unreal.
Well,
he's sick,
and he's only 2,900 FanDuel, 3,100 DK. Definitely GPP, because I think you want to get Turner, Machado in your lineup, but GDP, especially if you're gonna run a Philly stack, I probably wouldn't go no farther than like a McCutchen and a Bomb. I wouldn't be messing with anybody else, especially in that weather. But I have no problem getting Bomb in any of my lineups tomorrow, and anything in my GDP lineups.
Yeah, jeez, wait, man.
If Rio starts for the Dodgers, it'd be a great play. I don't think he's starting, but if you see Rio starting, I would get him in my lineup somewhere also.
Yeah, that's a good call. Is Jake Lamb ever going to be good again?
No,
he's just ever.
He's just.
For a minute there, he was. Every time I see his name, I feel like I should be like looking at him. And he's so bad.
Yeah, 5 years ago in Arizona, he was a big stud coming up.
Right, exactly. Goodness. The Orioles have Maikel Franco, so that would be.
That's another good piece of the stack, though. That's a stack piece I would use as Franco in a stack. Same with Brian Hayes for the Pirates.
Right. So that's the only reason I would mention him. That's it. All right, let's move right on to shortstop. A lot of talent here too, man. It's very top heavy.
Yep, and you got to go with either the Dodgers or our Padres. I'm over the Padres, but Seager. I'm looking at them both being like this very similar ownership, probably around 28, 29%. You can't go wrong either of them. Tatis is $100 more. Once again, Tatis against Bum. He's 6 for 11 in his career, 2 homers. I'd rather go against Bumgarner than against Marquise. You also got Story versus the lefty. Nice pivot off a chalk. You go that way. And I think Bogarts is going to go overlooked too. He's 6'14", BVP up, means of 2 homers. But Tatis or Seager is got to be a play. Seager's probably going to the popular play in Colorado. But man, I start seeing people talking about snow there and all this. Once again, I can go to Arizona with Bumgarner throwing against my guy. I'm going all over Tatis. Essentially the same price as Seager. Come on.
Yeah, definitely going with Tatis, man. Hell yeah. I don't care if it's in San Diego. That's better right now. So,
I agree there.
yeah, I'm rolling Tatis if I can get him. But definitely, great point on Bogarts. I would think that the little mini stack of Bogarts and JD will be a little probably a little more under than it should be. I know that I talked about means earlier, but in terms of this is opening day. Like I said, tons of different things can happen. Everybody's running multiple lineups. You got to with the variance in baseball. That little mini stack could be a good one too.
I totally agree.
All right, Wes, what do you got for for GPPs with shortstop?
Willie Adames. I mean, he hadn't had but a couple of bats versus Alcantara, but he did get a hit. And the one, I like him. And then probably Trevor Story, and on the other side of the Dodgers, I like him coming back versus Kershaw for at least twice.
Yeah, I definitely like those two. I definitely like Willie. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but definitely love these Rays today too. All right, we're getting close to the finish line here. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. But other than that, let's move right on to outfield. This is just nuts, dude. I mean, just read the top 5. Acuna, Betts, Bellinger, Yelich, Harper. I mean, come on. It's stacked. It's opening day. It's great.
And DK is obviously watered down their prices too.
Yeah.
So, and they do this every year for a few weeks. So you got all the guys like Acuna. I mean, we need to talk about, but you're going to see JD Martinez is going to be very high owned. Martinez is going to be a core play, mainly because he's 4 for 14 against means with 3 homers. But the thing about JD is we've known for JD is he's been one of the league's top hitters for years. He struggled a little bit last year, and
that's because he couldn't watch film in between hits.
And that was a big thing. He couldn't go back in the clubhouse, and that's what he did. Now he's got an iPad, I guess, on the bench where he can watch.
Mm-hmm.
But JD's always crushed lefties until last year. Last year he ended up with a 179 ISO, 287 WOBA. But if you go back the year before that, now you're looking at elite 396 ISO, 475 WOBA, 34.9 ground balls. His hard hit is crazy. He's got 42% hard hit. You're gonna see this 2019 JD Martinez back this year as a righty. I'm into Martinez. I'm hugely into Hunter Renfroe as a sneaky play. I don't think he's a bit high owned. He's batting 6th after Bogart's endeavors. 2019 at 351 ISO, 360 WOBA, 48% hard contact. I like both of those guys. Probably JD will be my main lineup. Renfroe is probably borderline because there's other guys like Tommy Pham who's sitting here only 3-1. Pham should definitely be a lot higher than 3-1.
Hell yeah.
Especially with that Padre offense. And Bumgarner's K rate is dropped to 21%. Well, he's also on 45% hard hits to righties, this is crazy with Tatis, Machado, Tommy Pham. And that's something talking about. We got Myers at 4.7. He's had a huge spring. There's a lot of bets you want in cash. I'm also one of the name I'm big on Joey Gallo tomorrow too. I think Gallo's in a great spot at 3.6 against Keller. I took your GBP play.
You did. It's like you've got every one of them.
Well, cash is JD and Pham, I think, and then you can pick one of the big bats after that. So give me a GPP play then.
Go ahead, Wes.
Joey Gallo was one of them. Another guy I like is Ketel Marte versus Darvish. Pete talked about it earlier, how Darvish gives up a lot of stolen bases. If he all he's got to do, and he walks a lot of batters. So if he gets on base, a walk and a couple stolen bases, and at 2.7, that's easy money right there. The other one that Pete did not steal is the Anthony Santander versus Evaldi.
Yep. There you go. There you go. I was going to say that.
He's got an extra base hit and a couple hits versus Evaldi. I like him as a GP play and at 3,500.
3,500, guys. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Let's talk about this. Do we remember last year when he went on the epic run? It was like 6K at one point.
In September, yes. Like 3 weeks.
Right.
Yep.
Here we go. Santander.
Those are my 3 GP plays.
Love it. I love it. I mean, I'll take Santander at 35 all day, every day. Pair him up with Mancini, Cisco, Mullins. I don't mind it. I really don't. I know it's a homer pick, but I really don't mind it.
DK is pretty much making it. You can pretty much play anybody you want. This is what I don't like about DFS though. When it's this early season, you can just make whatever lineup you want. This is crazy,
right.
Santander should not be 3-5. JD should not be 4-3.
Gallows, no way. Gallows should never be 3-6 versus a right-handed pitcher.
And here we got David Dahl, who's with Texas now, batting second against Keller, only 2-5. He's gonna be popular.
Yeah, he's gonna be hella popular.
Even Ketel Marte, who's second base in outfield, against Darvish, though, I still think he's a good spot. He's the one guy I would play against Darvish, leading off for Arizona. So there's a bunch of plays. Plus, we haven't even mentioned Betts, Bellinger, and Coors. I did mention Myers and Pham, but there's so many good. And one of the names, Austin Meadows, I think, is an elite spot tomorrow. Meadows and lower by 2 Rays guys, but Meadows is 3-6. That second against Alcantara, lefty against righty. I could have Austin Meadows in my main lineup. So you're gonna be able to build what you want to build tomorrow. It's gonna be an all-star lineup, really.
Yeah, and then just to that point, the further on Meadows, and this will lead us right into stacks. I really love the Rays tomorrow. You got those 2 guys, Azarena or whatever. I can't pronounce his name correctly, but Azarena's in there. Joey Wendell, Willie Adames, Kiermaier. Come on, Testugo. I mean, it's Alcantara. I mean, come on. He's not that. He's decent, but I mean, versus lefties, this is a lefty loaded lineup.
And
I mean,
indoors too.
Indoors. So. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this going to be popular? I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm not sure if it's going to be popular, but definitely you play Meadows and low, yeah, with Arozarena, and then probably like a Joey Wendell in there. No, that's definitely. I'm not. It's the popular stacks are of course going to be the Coors guys and the Padres. Yeah. My stacks, the Red Sox, even though I hate the Red Sox, but I think they're JD and Renfroe were too cheap against a lefty with Kiki, Bobby Dalbec. You could do like a wraparound stack with Bobby Dalbec batting 9th and go up top 1, 2, 3 with Kiki and get JD in there. Dalbec's got crazy power against lefties. He strikes out a ton too, but means also doesn't strike out these guys. So Mean doesn't strike out righties. So Dalbec should have no problem. I could see a home run coming from Dalbec tomorrow. So I could do it. I could see a wraparound stack. The Red Sox would be different, like a 9-1-2-3.
He hit a bunch of home runs in spring training too.
He had a couple games. We had 2 homers. So Red Sox are my stack tomorrow.
I'm going with the Pirates. They just destroy Hendricks every time they play him. I mean, they don't hit a bunch of home runs, but they've got 30 hits and 100 at bats, a 295 average versus him. Adam Frazier, Polanco, Ke'Bryan Hayes. The Pirates is the stack that I like the best tomorrow. I don't care if the wind blows 100 miles an hour in. They'll just hit singles all day, score runs.
Yeah, just load them up. Well, those are definitely good points. If we got any others, we can just shout them out. But this is a time when I know a lot of folks, I know you guys both, a lot of guys in our Discord chat have a lot of tickets and so forth. So, when I have a lot of tickets, I'm always at least throwing my hometown team in there. I know that's not the best analysis in the world, but it's opening day. I mean, it gives you a little bit of extra juice for the start of the MLB season. And I'll definitely be stacking the Orioles around Santander and Mancini, Cisco, Mullins, probably those guys.
I think that's it. I don't have any other stacks. We each gave our stack. Price picks for tomorrow.
Promo code YFC, get up to $100 deposit match. Don't forget about that, folks.
Honestly, I don't get the pitching, but I spotted one, Alec Baum, 6.5 fantasy score, taking over on Baum. That's my play for the Phillies.
I like the over on CJ Crone at 6.5.
Yeah,
there you go. Rockies, and then the under on Anthony Rizzo at 7.5.
No, I can dig that. I didn't realize that there's single stats aren't out yet, but there's pitching.
Cape. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that. If they have K props, it's gonna be great.
And I assume they don't have a single stat out yet for pitching. They just have a score. Let me see if there's any pitchers. So Bumgarner 19.5. I would probably take an under on Bum. 20.
Let me look at the scoring.
Hendricks 36.5. I'd probably go still low on that because he's not a big K pitcher.
Right. That's some time.
Yeah, Woodruff over 30. I'll probably go over 32 on Woodruff. Now here's one. Now we're talking about the dead ball this year. They're supposed to change the ball. Give me less home runs.
Yep.
I'm looking at Matt. It's not in the That's one I forget. Matthew Boyd's not. He's on a FanDuel slate. I think he's not on DK slate. But a guy like Matthew Boyd, who had a huge season in 2019, got bombed last year because of home runs. He's a fly ball pitcher. If that ball deadens, I can see Matthew Boyd coming back and having a really good season. If I was playing FanDuel, I'd have shares of him in GBPs. That's one thing we didn't talk about was FanDuel, because FanDuel starts at 1 o'clock.
Of course. Yeah, they couldn't just do it normal, but no. Yeah.
If you're taking your pitcher, you're going to either take Shane. You're going to either take Bieber or Cole. Cole's a better strikeout pitcher. Bieber's not too far behind. Bieber, though, has a better matchup tomorrow against Detroit. Who's a terrible offensive team. If I'm playing FanDuel, I'm going Bieber as my probably as my cash play. You can't go wrong with Cole, but I probably would go Bieber and run it that way, and then I would probably use Cole as leverage in my GPPs.
Yeah, Cole gives up a few bombs. I mean, he'll give up a home run or two. They might be solo shots, but he'll give up a couple of home runs.
Yeah, those are all great points, guys. Prize Picks has been good. If you guys play it with us over the football season and the basketball season, whether it be college or NBA, that they're pretty sharp. So, you got when we talk about these things and we post the article or post the play here on the live stream or the podcast, make sure you guys get it in as soon as possible and as close to as at that number that we specify. If the line is moved, maybe 5 fantasy points or what have you, depending on what sport we're playing here, you could probably pass on that one at this point. We'll have others that we posted in our articles and so forth, but don't feel like you got to just play it just because we talked about it. We talk about it at the number or relatively close to that number. So don't get carried away trying to chase it every single time. All right, guys, with that's our first show down on the MLB season. We're going to have a show just about every single day, at least for the weekdays and most weekends. We have Easter upcoming this weekend, so we won't have any shows this week. weekend.
We have a show Friday night.
But we'll have a show Friday night, and then we'll kick it back in full gear on Monday. So if you'd like to join, head over to yourfielderschoice.com. We have a promo running currently. I'm not sure how long it'll be there. It could be there tomorrow. It may not. It could be there for a week. It may not. So go there as quick as you possibly can. Sign up for that promo. Like and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Guys, you have anything before we close it out?
No, good luck and go Cubs.
Yeah, and tomorrow's one of those days. Crazy things happen on opening day. Don't go crazy on opening day. Don't go through your bankroll because every year some pitcher's going to do great that we're not expecting. Some guy's going to hit 2 home runs we're not expecting. So you got to give it a couple weeks for everything to even out a little bit, and then you'll be fine.
That's right. Couldn't agree more with that. Very important in a long season. Not the shortened season that we had last year. The very long summer grind of MLB DFS. All right, guys. For Mike, Pete, and Wes, we're out of here.